Hi everybody, this is Mrs. A and I'm going over your test preparation for your midterm exam. And I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So I have written a whole bunch of stuff on here already. So let's just look at what I've already written down. And this was just telling you that the first review, which is what we're going over right now, is going to cover 4A, which was 1 through 10, 11 through 20 was the second page of your review, and 5A, 1 through 10, which is the first side of the 5A pretest. Now, you have already done these, okay? You already turned these in today, and this is the answer key to that first pretest. You have two pretests altogether. The second, so this is review 1. Review 2 is due Monday. And it's going to be the two parts of 6A and the second half of 5A. Now, dear sweet students, I have already given you 6A video and PowerPoint online. I did that while I was at the cabin in the mountains. I posted it for you as a preparation for your 6B test. We've already taken the 6B test. Some of you did not do so well, even though I put a video and a PowerPoint out there with all of the answers. I hope that with this midterm review, you will take to heart the fact that I am giving you a detailed video of the review. Okay, so please take the time. Now let's look at number 1. Remember, some of you just did this in your head and you got half credit on your pretest. When you're doing a problem like this, you are to show some work. How many quarts is 4 gallons? Well, one way to do this is tell me how many quarts in 1 gallon. Okay, so you could have written this, and then you could have said 4 quarts is in 1 gallon times 4 is going to be 16 quarts. That would have been fine. Or you could do it the way the book is telling us to do it, which is to start with what you have, 4 gallons, and then multiply by a conversion factor of 4 quarts per 1 gallon. And then the gallons are going to cancel each other out. And 4 times 4 quarts is 16 quarts. But whether you use it this way to show work or this way to show work, work must be shown on your midterm exam or you will get half credit for the problem. Okay, so no amount of arguing, my dear students, is going to change that fact. So today you were trying to out-argue Miss A. Miss A knows how important being able to do the work on the problem is for your general understanding of mathematics. So this is one area that I am not going to bend on. You might as well just learn how to show your work. Okay, when you get to the upper level maths, your teachers are going to say no work, no credit. Okay, so right now in my class, it's no work, half credit. If you get the answer right, I'll give you half credit, but if you don't have the work there, you won't get full credit. Okay, number 2. So this is on 4A. 1 pack of trading cards sells for $1.50. How many complete packs can Jordan buy for $10? So we're dividing $10 by $1.50. Now, quite a few of my dear students hate division. I'm not sure why. Okay, we're going to have $1.50 here and $10 here. But this decimal that was in $1.50 must be cleared. So we're going to multiply that by 100. At the same time, we multiply the $10 by 100. Okay, so now we've got $1.50 into 1,000. And $1.50 won't go into 100, but $1.50 will go into 1,000. So our first digit is going to be up here above the ones place in the 1,000. 6 times 150 is 900. And we subtract and we get 1,000 again when we bring down the 0. Okay, so here's a little invisible 0. We bring it down. We get another 1,000. We started with 1,000, so isn't that just going to be 6.66666 or 6.6 repeating? Now, since we're looking for how many complete packets, we are not going to be able to get this 6 repeating up to a whole, so we're just going to say there are 6 packets of trading cards that he can buy. Number 3. Shawna ran 3 miles in 24 minutes. What was her average rate in minutes per mile? Okay, now remember, minutes per mile is the way they want us to write it. And so we're going to write minutes per mile, 24 minutes per 3 miles. Now, when we write a rate, we want it to be a unit on the bottom. So we want 1 mile per 1 mile, not per 3 miles. So we're going to just take this and simplify 24 thirds, which is 8, and we will get 8 minutes per 1 mile, because divide by 3, we get 8 minutes per 1 mile. Now, you wouldn't run around saying I was going 8 minutes per 1 mile. You would just say 8 minutes per mile. Okay, so we wouldn't say per 1 mile. We just say per mile. And that is the answer. You see, I showed work. Number 4. If Robert reads 2 pages per minute, how many pages could he read in 1.5 hours? So here we go. 2 pages per minute was his given rate. So now we're trying to get to pages per 1.5 hours. Okay, so this is where I'm trying to go. How many pages in 1.5 hours? That's goal there. Okay, that's my goal. So now I need to get to hours because I'm in minutes. So I'm going to say 60 minutes is 1 hour. Okay, so now I have minutes is going to cancel minutes, and I'm left with pages per hour. Okay, so I have 2 times 60 is 120 pages per 1 hour. Now, I'm trying to get my denominator to be 1.5 hours. Can I multiply by 1.5 on the top and 1.5 on the bottom? And then don't I all of a sudden have 1.5 hours on the denominator, which is what I want. So now I just have to take 120 and multiply by 1.5. Remember, 1.5 is 1.5. And we can do this almost in our head if we just say 120 times the 1 is 120. And 120 times the 1/2 is half of 120 is 60. So 120 plus 60 is 180. So I'm going to erase the question mark, and I'm going to put 180 pages in 1.5 hours. This is your answer. How many pages could he read in 1.5 hours? The answer is 180 pages. Show your work. List the prime numbers between. So between means not including 10, which is okay because 10's not prime. So we're going to start with 11. 11 cannot be divided by anything besides itself and 1. Okay, 11, 13. Remember, any even numbers are divisible by 2. So Now we're going to skip 15 because 15 is not prime. It's divisible by 5 and 3. And then 17 and 19. There are your prime numbers between 10 and 20. What is the perimeter of a rectangle with vertices? So we're talking about a rectangle. Let's take the time to draw out 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm trying to make things about the same distance, even though I don't have nice graph paper. Negative 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. So it's going to be level with this one right here. Negative 2, negative 2. So I want to make it about the same there. And 3, negative 2. Okay, so now this is our rectangle. Okay, now let's go and see. Remember, this was 3, 2. And this point down here was 3, negative 2. Okay, and then this point over here to the left was negative 2, 2. And this point down here was negative 2, negative 2. Okay, now, you see here how the x's are the same? So all we have to do is say how far apart are 2 and negative 2, and that answer is 4. So this side is 4, which means this side should also be 4, and it is. Okay, rectangles have parallel sides, don't they? And the side lengths are the same on opposite sides. And then over here, notice that we have a 2 and a 2 are the same. So all we have to do is say, how far is it from negative 2 to 3? Well, that's 5 steps. And also negative 2 to 3 down here is 5 steps. I circled the wrong one. It was that negative 2. So now we have 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4, which is 9 plus 9, which is 18 units. Okay, number 7. What is the area of the rectangle in question 6? Okay, so for perimeter, we add them together. So really, I should have probably written that down. 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4. And I didn't write it down, so I'm going to write it there. Now, 5 times 4 will be my area. So we're going to say 5 times 4 equals 20. Since this is area, it will be square units. Okay, number 8 says Gina measured the heights of the corn sprouts in her garden. Blah, 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 blah. What is the mode of the measures? Now, the mode is the one that's hit the most times. So we have an 18, an 18, and an 18. Okay, now I would take that as your work because you're just counting something, aren't you? Nothing else has 3 things. So we're going to say 18 centimeters is the mode. Estimate the sum of 6.27 and 4.91 by first rounding each number to the nearest whole number. So rounding 6.27 to the nearest whole number, I would round it down because the 2 is less than 5. And then 4.9 to the nearest whole number would be 5 because 9 is greater than 5, so that's going to bump that one up. And 6 plus 5 is 11. It says estimate the sum. So you're going to add them together. 6 plus 5. Number 10. Hector slept for 8 hours. 8 hours is what fraction of a day? So 8 out of 24 is going to be 1/3. And that would be enough work on that one. Okay, so now write a fraction equivalent to 3/5 that has a denominator of 100. 3/5. We want to get to something over 100. So we're going to multiply by 20 over 20. Okay, can you see how that's going to give my 5 times 20 is 100, 3 times 20 is 60, and the answer, it says, write a fraction equivalent. So we're going to write 60 over 100. You don't want to just write 60. You want to do what the problem tells you to do. Okay, the sales tax rate is 8%. Find 8% of $27.50. Okay, so 8% is 80 decimal. Okay, so we always have to, the percent, remember to get from a percent to a decimal, we're going to take this decimal and move it 2 places to the left because this means divided by 100. So 0.08 is your decimal value of 8% times 27.50. Okay, so that's what we're about to do, and it's going to be in dollars. So now let's come over here and actually do it. 27.50. You guys, when you're working, make your decimals clear. If I can't see a decimal, I can't count a decimal right. Okay, and my philosophy of grading is you must make sure I see your decimal. And if I don't see a decimal, it's not there. And if it's so slight that I can't tell whether that was a decimal or a stray mark, then you did not make it dark enough. Okay, so please make your decimals distinct. So here I'm going to go ahead. Now remember, when I'm multiplying, I don't even mess with these decimals till the end. It's addition and subtraction that we have to line up the decimal points, not multiplication. 0 times 8 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. Down the 0, carry the 4. 7 times 8 is 56 plus 4 is 60. Carry the 6. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 6 is 22. And now we're done with the 8. So now we're going to do the 0. But the 0 is not going to do anything. It's not going to add any numbers. We could just put 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so now we're ready to add. Let me get this thing out of our way. Okay, so now we're going to have 0, 0, 0, 2, 2. Okay, so now how many decimal places? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our tax is going to be $2.20 on $27.50. Please make sure you circle or box your answer. A lot of you are very bad about that, okay? A quadrilateral has how many sides? Well, this is one of those that I would let you get away with just writing the answer, okay? Because that's the definition of a quadrilateral, isn't it? Which of the following numbers is irrational? Okay, so irrational means it cannot be made into a fraction. Fraction has the root word, rational has the root word of ratio, which is a fraction. So we can change any of these to a fraction by putting a 1 underneath, put a 1 underneath. This one already is a fraction, so this one is the one that is irrational. So the answer is D. Okay, what is the area of this triangle? Well, we know that the area is 1/2 base times height. Okay, so you should write your formula on as part of your work. So here I have a right triangle. So when I have a right triangle, the base is one leg and the height is the other leg. Okay, so it's going to be 1/2 8 times 6. And 1/2 of 8 is 4, and 4 times 6 is 24. We have 24 square centimeters because area is always in square units. Number 16. An angle that measures 45 degrees is what type of angle? So here is 45 degrees. Okay, and 45 degrees is acute. Remember, right means it's always 90. Obtuse means it's greater than 90. Straight means that it's 180 degrees. So basically, this is a straight angle here because it's 180 degrees. So acute means less than 90, and 45 is less than 90.
You're cute.
Well, obviously, Mr. Aldridge came in. So, solve by inspection is number 17. Now, I like to do these with algebra. So, I'm going to add 1 and add 1. And that's going to give me 3x. And -1 and +1 are going to cancel. And then over here, 20 plus 1 is 21. And then I'm going to divide by 3 and divide by 3. So that I get x equals 7. All right, so now let's check 7. Let's come over here and put 7 right here and check it. 3 times 7 is 21. Take away 1 equals 20. And that is what we wanted. So the answer is x is equal to 7. Number 18, write the exponential form. So we have 3xy, xy, xy, x. So we have 3, and then x, 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. So we'll call that x to the 4th because they're all multiplied together. And then we have 1, 2, 3 y's, y cubed. Mr. Aldridge was very kind and went grocery shopping, so he's putting the groceries away. For questions 19 and 20, simplify the expression. All right, so 4 squared is 16, minus the square root of 64 is 8. 16 minus 8 is 8, and that's fine. That's enough work. You're showing me your thought process. Okay, 5 6 minus 1/4. Now, we're going to have to get to a common denominator of 12. Okay, on both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and write 12 and 12 on the bottom. Now, 6 has to multiply by 2. So I'm going to just make a little note here. 2 over 2 is what I'm going to multiply 5 6 by to get something 12 on the bottom. So 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12, and the minus in the middle. And now 4 goes into 12 3 times. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3 over 3. And 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 10 twelfths minus 3 twelfths is 7 twelfths. Remember, with fractions, when we're adding and subtracting, we must get a common denominator. And then once we get the common denominator, we don't change that. We just operate on the numerator. Now, if this could simplify, we would simplify it, but it cannot simplify. Now we're on test 5A, the first part. The number of students in 4 classrooms is 26, 30, 31, and 31. What is the mean number of students in the 4 classrooms? So we know to find a mean, we must first add up the digits. Okay, we're going to add them up. And 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. That's 4 3s, which is 12. So we have 120 and 4 numbers, so we're going to divide by 4. And 12 divided by 4 is 3, so this answer is 30. And we have 30 students. Okay, students. All right, number 2. Simon ran and jumped 3 times. The lengths of his jumps are as shown below. 4.23 meters, 4.27 meters, 3.98 meters. His longest jump was how much longer than his shortest jump? So this one was his longest jump. This one was his shortest jump. So aren't we going to do 4.27 take away 3.98. We're going to subtract. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, rename that. 17 minus 8 is 9. And we're going to have to cancel here. And 11 take away 9 is 2. And 3 take away 3 is 0. Okay, so 0.29 was, and that would be in meters. So 0.29 meters was the difference. There are 12 girls and 15 boys in the classroom. What fraction of the students, which is the total number of students, are girls? So girls was 12. And the total was 12 plus 15 is 27. Now we have to simplify. So we're going to divide by 3 on the top and divide by 3 on the bottom. And there's my answer. That one didn't require a lot of work, but you should show your original fraction and then show your simplification. Norton started driving at 9 a.m. By noon, he had traveled 162 miles. What was his average speed? Okay, so he traveled 162. Remember, speed is normally going to be miles per hour, right? So 162 miles in 3 hours. 9 to noon is 3 hours. But when we're talking about a speed, we want miles per 1 hour. So don't we want to divide by 3 and divide the denominator by 3? Since we're dividing by 3 over 3, we're really just dividing by 1. We're only simplifying. So we're going to say, how many times is 162? Divide by 3, 5, 15, 1, 2, 4, 54. Okay, so 54 miles in 1 hour. But we would just say 54 miles per hour. We don't need that one there. Okay? And number 5 is expand. We're going to multiply the 3. Remember, when we're doing this, it's 3 times x and 3 times 4. And that's fine to put that as your work. 3x plus 12. Not a lot we can do for that one. Number 6 is compare. But remember, I want you to show your work. So the square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 16 is 4. 5 minus 4, our symbol. 25 minus 16 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 is less than 3. This is what I would want to see as your final statement. Arrange these numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so we do have, this one was the one that had kind of a typo. That's negative, negative 1/4. So we're going to put that first. We have a negative 1/4. That's our only other number. So I'm going to mark it off. And we know that 0 has to come next because there's no other negative. Okay, so when you're finished with your low end, now let's go up here. We have, what do we have left? We have 1.4, we have 0.14, 1/4, and 1. We're looking for our highest number now. Well, 1.4 is greater than 1, 1/4 is less than 1, and 0.14 is less than 1. So this one right here, 1.4, is going to be my greatest number. So I'm going to come way over here and I'm going to put my greatest number in there and get rid of that one. So now I have 3 numbers left. And this one is less than 1, this one is less than 1, this one is equal to 1, so it's going to go next. So now I am done with 1, and I only have 2 numbers that I have to decide between, which order they go in. Now, if you remember that 1/4 is equal to 0.25, then you can see that 0.25 is greater than 0.14. So we're going to put 0.14, and then 1/4, which is 0.25, is going to come next. And there you have it. So the way that I'm recommending that you do this is put down your negative numbers first, then put down your 0, then jump over and work on your high end of your numbers so that you can logically narrow it down. Okay, so we're doing 8 and 9 with one picture. Refer to triangle ABC to answer the questions 8 and 9. So here is the triangle. We have a 58 and a 58. What is the measure of angle A? Well, measure of angle A is right here. We know that they're 180 degrees in a triangle. And we know that 58 and 58, or 58 doubled, is 16. Carry the 1. 10, 11, 116. So all we have to do is take the 116 away from the 180. 0 minus 6 doesn't work, so I'm going to come over here. Bring the 10. Minus 6 is 4. 7 minus 1 is 6. And now we just have a 1 in the hundreds place. 64 degrees is what A must be. Okay, so again, we're using the same triangle classified by sides. What type of triangle is that triangle? Well, by sides, not by angles. Sides, we have 2 sides the same, and we know that that is called isosceles. So, isosceles. All right, it's hard to write on this thing. And last but not least, the very last problem on this half of your review. What is the area of a triangle with vertices at, so I'm going to make a graph first, and 0, 0, 0, 3 means it's going to be 3 on the y, right here, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, up, 4. So I have a triangle. That doesn't look very triangle-ish there. But I have a triangle. Now, remember, 1/2 base times height is my area of a triangle. So I'm going to not use this as anything. It's not going to be a base or a height because I want to have a vertical. We're just going to make this vertical be the base here. And then this one right here, we'll do a straight drop down to that line and make it the height. Okay. It really doesn't matter. You could call this one the base and this one the height, but I'm just going to do it this way. We're going to say this is, now this was 0, 3, and between 0, 0 and 0, 3 is 3 steps. And then from this peak here, we're going to go straight back to the y-axis. And since this was 3, 4, that means this is 3 steps from, the x is going this direction, isn't it? So 3 steps from the 0 that's there. So this is also 3 steps. So 1/2 base times height is 1/2 times 3 for the base times 3 for the height. 1/2 times 9 is 9/2, which is 4 and 1/2 square. Since we don't have units, we're still going to put square units. You should show your units. Even if you're not sure what the units are, you can write square units. And we are done with your review for the first half of your midterm exam. So this is what's going to happen. This is for you to study on Monday, because this is a even day. Friday is even. We don't meet on Friday. On Monday, we will have a regular class day, but it will be the second half of the review. So your homework is to pull out that review 2 that I gave you today, and every single one of you walked out with it, okay? So you're going to take out review 2. You're going to give it your best shot because it's a quiz grade. Now, I don't mind if you work together on this as long as you're doing your own work, okay? If you want to bounce answers off of each other after you've done your own work, that's fine with me. The goal is that you're studying for a test, okay? Because these aren't going to be the same problems on your test, right? You're going to have problems similar to these. Remember that your second part is 6A, which is 2 pages, and 5A, which is the second part of 5. The 3 pages that I gave you in that review packet are 6A and 5A. Remember that 6A is already completely done for you in a PowerPoint, and you've been given that PowerPoint on your teams. Okay, 6A also has videos to go over the entire of 6A. So of the 3 pages that I gave you for your review, 2 of them are already completely there for you to listen to, read, copy the answers. I hope that you're going to copy the work as well. Okay, but remember, the big job is to get ready for a final exam, and if all you're doing is blindly copying the work, and you're not really learning how to do the problems, it's not really going to help you when we come to our midterm exam next week. Okay, so the only thing, after we post this video right here, the only thing that you won't have immediate access to is 5A. All of this will be your quiz for Monday, and then I will post the 10 problems from 5A, and that should be all that you have left to study for your final, because you will have had all weekend to study all of 6A and 4A in the first half of 5A that I have already got out there online. So I'm trying to make it so that you can't possibly fail unless you just aren't trying to use the resources that I have out there for you. My desire is that you do well on your final exam. My desire is that you use these resources that I'm taking a lot of time to fix for you. The PowerPoints that have all of the work and the videos that go with them. Please use these resources so that you can do well on your midterm exam, which I'm not sure which day will be. Will our midterm exam be Tuesday of next week for first period, Mr. Aldridge? We don't remember. But anyway, Monday is class. Monday have your quiz. I will see you later. This is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day. Bye.